Hey, Diane DeWald with CreativeCatCrafts.com. Welcome back to the channel. And as promised, I said I was going to use this Christmas tree, a Christmas stamp set for a non-Christmas masculine card. And I'm going to show you two samples that I was working on or worked up when I was working through this concept. I'm not in love with either one of them. So here they are. Let me zoom you in and let's talk about each one of them. So this guy, I used a Distress Ink Rustic Wilderness and I did my smooshing technique and I created a couple a couple background panels just like this. And you can see here, I took the die from this tree, this tree, and cut out two of the panels. And then these were both white originally. And then I put the happy birthday and I embellished it with some brown. Nope, those are Aztec, I think is the color. No, espresso from Cartwright's sequins. And I wasn't in love with this. So I took one of the cutouts and cut a panel and then stamped the branches from this set, this stamp here, and then took this and just kind of dabbed it along the edge. And then the Gina K Designs charcoal brown, I used my detail brush and colored in the trunk. I like it. I'm not in love with this one. So this isn't quite a big fail, but it's, like I said, it's not one of my favorite cards. So I tried again and same concept. I cut out using this die 2 trees and then stuck 3 white trees in front, and it just was missing a grounding element. So from what stamp set was that? The Majestic, whoa, sorry for the glare. From the Majestic Moments stamp set, I grabbed this eagle or hawk and stamped it on there. My husband said, yeah, that's better, but I was still not in love with it. So what I'm going to show you is not a replacement for any stencil supplied by manufacturers. This was just me trying to figure out how can I color these 2 trees without destroying the whole card, because these are pretty affixed and I didn't want to try to tear them off. So I had some, what is this, 7mm stencil material, and I took the die and I cut it out and laid it over the top and took my blending brush with the, I think this is Christmas, yeah, this is Christmas Pine, and colored it. And did the same with the other and left the 3rd pine tree, which you can see is layered in the background, and then stuck a Post-it note underneath each one of the trunks and colored each one of the trunks. It's better. It's not the best yet, but this is better. So I'm thinking, okay, the concept's going. So let's get started on how we're going to come to the final rendition of the idea that is stuck in my head. And here is, let me see, let me grab a piece of white cardstock. This is the tree that we're going to end up with. So let me pause you for a minute, get this all set up, and you'll be right. Okay, I'm back. So I used this die and I cut out a ton of these trees, and let's go ahead and let's do 2. I already have several of these colored at this point because I want the ink to have a good amount of time to dry. So all I'm going to do is put these out here like this, and I need a couple sticky notes. And oops, we're going to do the trunks first. It just seems to be easier to do it that way. So I've got two smaller post-it notes, and I'm using charcoal brown. And if you're not aware, this is from the ink stand, and this is for the ink cubes. I think these are brand new. I love it. Love, love, love it. So all I'm doing is I'm grabbing the small Gina K detail brush, and I know charcoal brown was on here before, so I'm just going to load that up, pounce it just a little, and I'm just going over that trunk just like that. Let's move you in so you can see that, and then I'll move you out in just a minute. So load that up, pounce a couple times. I do that so I don't get any like weird lines. There. And we'll switch these around. See, our trunks are colored. And then I'm just smashing that down, protecting that, but I want to get the bottom of those branches. And I'm using the Christmas pine from Gina K. And let me cover that brown. We're done. We're actually done with the brown. And I've got her standard size blending brush and loaded it up, and I'm going to pounce once off to the side. I've got a paper towel over on the side, and this really doesn't matter if you get like, I was really heavy handed there, because it's going to give you the illusion of dimension and depth to that tree. And we're putting a lot of ink on that tree. So you can be a little, start light, but then you can like deepen or make your pressure a little more firm. That's the word I'm looking for. And we have 2 Christmas trees. Look at that. Actually, not Christmas trees, but 2 pine trees. So let me peel these up, and I want to spray that down. I'm going to move our reference, and this is just water, and this is a microfiber lint-free towel that I use. I love these. I get these from Amazon. They're just great, and it just takes that ink right up off that. I'm using the Grip Mat 2 background grip mat number 2. I have the first one too. So let me move you back out so you can see what I'm going to do next. All I'm doing is we're going to fill in the detail for that pine tree, and I'm just going to sit that down there. I have that there to keep the glare off, and it doesn't matter where this winds up. Do need to move that out of the way. There's a lip on this Misti so that you can easily open it, and I'm gonna stamp that in black. And I don't want, I just wiped off, and I shouldn't use my finger. That's how I get ink splotches on everything. There's the trunk. Let's see if I can show you. So the trunk of this, I'm wiping any ink that I put on that off, because I don't want that on. I will. I am just a mess today. So to line up my outline, you want that trunk. And I'm just going to tape that down. And now I'm going to wipe that off. Let's put one of our trees in. And here is where I'm going to wipe it off. I don't want ink on that. Let that ink soak in. And up here at the top, let me grab that. I just dropped the lid on the floor. Thankfully it wasn't the ink pad. That's better. Okay, let's quickly do the other one. And then I'll show you both of them. So wipe off the ink. Slide that back in there. Yeah, let's get a little more ink on that. There's nothing on that trunk. And voila, easy peasy. And here's our, yes, my fingers are very inky. Here's our two trees. I love that. So let me move off to the side and clean this guy off. Where's my, there it is. Just sprayed it with a little bit of water. Use the microfiber towel. Peel this up, and we're going to work on the front panel. We're going to do something a little more exciting. So we are done with this. And I'm going to turn this orientation just a smidge. And I notice when I go back and listen during editing, I use smidge a lot. I'm sorry. I really am. Okay, I'm going to line this up with the grid underneath. And there's a reason for that, for the sentiment. But I am using the sun, what is this? Sun, sky, and sea. And on the bottom, it's got this nice waviness. That's the sea, but we're going to use it for a little bit of a hillside. And I did not get out my brown mini brush. We're going to need blue sky. Yes, blue sky. I always want to call it sky blue, but it's blue sky. And we're going to use the charcoal brown. I'm going to load up this mini brush. I'm going to pounce it. I'm going to start on the stencil very light. And I can already tell I have too much ink. Too much ink. So I don't like that. Don't like that at all. So let's try this again. Too much ink and too heavy-handed. So wipe that stencil off just a smidge, and let's try this again. And let's rub that let's rub that brush off. So I pretty much removed a lot of ink. Okay, I think that might be a little heavier than I wanted, but that's okay. I'm gonna go ahead and use alcohol, clean that stencil off. Sorry, I'm off camera. I don't have enough room on my space on my desk over here. So we are going to flip this the other way. And then I'm gonna grab the blue sky. And I have a standard size brush, and we're going to kind of do the same thing. We're going to load that up, pounce, and I'm going to start up here, light, and then increase the pressure as I see, and then change the direction of it. Let's see what we get. Just a hint of blue. You really can't see it there. Wipe that stencil off. On camera, you really can't see it, but you get up closer, I can see it. So I'm going to make that a little bit darker. So let me grab that stencil again. And I went the other way, just like this. So let's load that up just a smidge. Yeah, that's better. I think you're seeing. And I want to leave this side more white. Oh, nice. I like that. Clean off that stencil so that I don't forget later. Cover this, cover that. Then, happy birthday. I'm going to use the Happy Birthday from Spring Clusters. I like this font. And I'm going to put that right there because our two trees, we're going to put right over here. That's what it's going to look like. I like it. I like it a lot. So let me see. Let me make sure it's straight. I believe it is. And weird orientation. Sorry, I'm going to get my head in the way. I just want to make sure that that is fairly straight. And I'm going to change the orientation back to here. We're done with those inks. So I can go ahead and put those over to the side. And this Happy Birthday, you just want to kiss the cardstock. And we'll stamp it several times. Oh, that's really good. All right. Let's clean this off. Put this back where it belongs. Peel this guy up. And we are, got some cardstock fuzz there. I should get my file out, but I'll just use my fingernail. So this is an A2 card size. It is, whoops. This is my base that I get from cut cardstock, 5.5 by 8.5. It's the Neenah Classic Crest Solar White, 110 pound. So we'll get that folded down. And then this is Gina K Christmas Pine. And get my tape runner. This is the Master Layouts 1. The back panel is 3 7/8 by 5 1/8, so the screen panel. And then the front panel that we did some stenciling on, that's 3 3/3 by 5. And it just goes on straight like that. Burnish that down really well. This is for the inside panel. I will do that off camera. I like to dress up the inside. And here are our two trees. And I am going to pop them up on foam squares. I'm still using my Stampin' Up! Dimensionals because I have hundreds of these things, even after several years. These little backings like to stick to me everywhere. So we're going to stagger these a little. Want this up a little higher. Like that. And then this guy, stagger him down just a little. Make sure he's straight. And then the sequins, they were coffee. I thought they were the Aztec gold, but nope, they were coffee. Yep. And pick and stick tool. There's two. Oh, that's two of them stuck together. Well, I'm not going to fight that. And I need there's 3 different sizes in here, and I only got the really big one. And I'm flipping it over because there's a concave side. I like that. Okay, let's get this glued down. I've been practicing squeezing the glue bottle with my left hand. I'm getting better. And voila, just like that. I think that turned out pretty good compared to my first 2 renditions. In the comments below, tell me which one you like better. So thanks a lot for coming along with me during this masculine Monday episode number 2. Until next time, happy stamping.